Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Stay and welcome to our weekly live YouTube event. And this is Rose back here stretching. She's my little white Maltese. Oh, she's really tired. I've got Steve here with me and he's helping me with the chat.
Hello.
Hopefully everyone can find us. We were just spending the last hour over on my Facebook page for the first part of our live weekly event, and now we're here with you here on YouTube. And we are looking forward to continue our discussion about sketchbooks and how you can use them to help with your coloring. And this is kind of a kickoff to my next series of videos we're going to do here on the YouTube channel, all about using sketchbooks. Kind of a series about sketchbooks for the non-artist, for people who don't consider themselves artists. I use sketchbooks for everything. I use them for note-taking. I use them for actually doing art. I use them just for fun, just if I wanted to make some notes about a discussion that I want to have with all of you. I use notebooks for journaling. I use notebooks for planning things that are up and coming. I use sketchbooks for all kinds of things. I think at some point I switched and started saying notebooks instead of sketchbooks. Anyway, you guys get what I'm saying, but I use sketchbooks for a lot of things, and they are kind of an important tool for me. I take them with me almost everywhere. In fact, I have a smaller purse that I take with me sometimes when we just pop into like Walmart or something. And I have to admit, sometimes I actually feel a little almost anxiety feeling when I don't have a sketchbook and some art tools with me. I'm like, what if something happens and we're stuck in this store and I don't have a sketchbook and some tools with me to do some art? It's like my security blanket. My sketchbook and my coloring tools are my peace and my anxiety reducing items. So they are a lot of help to me. So we're going to talk some more about sketchbooks. If you are enjoying this kind of discussion, make sure you hit like and you share, and make sure you have subscribed and you hit the little notification button here for my YouTube channel, because we have a lot more to share about sketchbooks and how you can use them. Sketchbooks are so inexpensive. You can pick them up at Walmart. You can pick them up at Hobby Lobby or Michael's. There's all kinds of online places you can pick them up. I'm going to show really quick a couple of my favorite sketchbooks. And we talked a little bit about them over on Facebook as well. And so we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on the different kinds of sketchbooks, because there are literally hundreds of different kinds of sketchbooks you can get. But I just wanted to show you really quick some of my favorite sketchbooks. And then you can kind of go from there and pick what you want. I mean, you can even make your own sketchbook just out of just paper hanging around your house and a stapler, or into a notebook like a 3-ring binder. You can punch holes into some paper and stick them in there, and you've got yourself a sketchbook. You don't have to buy some kind of special art sketchbook to get started. You can just make your own. In fact, I would love to learn to make my own. That's a entire learning how to make your own bound books and make your own sketchbooks. It's a really neat art form in itself. So that might be something we do someday. But one thing I wanted to do when we started our Bliss print shop was to create my sort of dream sketchbook. And so Steve and I sat down and I told him what I wanted, and we have a sketchbook that you can order from the Bliss print shop, and it is my dream sketchbook. And the reason why it's something special to me is because it has 3 different kinds of paper in it. And we're not going to talk a lot about it right now, because you can just visit over onto my website and learn all about it there. But this is it right here. It has 3 different kinds of paper in it, which I don't know if I've ever seen any other kind of sketchbook that has different kinds of paper all in one sketchbook. But I wanted a sketchbook that if I felt like using markers, I would have paper that was ideal for that. If I wanted to use colored pencils, I would have paper ideal for that. And it's 2 different types of paper. And then this book also has paper that we picked out and I think is ideal, like is a mixed media type paper that has a good in-between texture, and all three are in here. We also have at the beginning of this book some doodle prompts. So if you're the type of person who gets a sketchbook and you're like really intimidated by all those blank pages, I've got you covered. At the beginning of this book, it comes with these doodle prompts, so it helps you get started right away. We even have videos here on YouTube where I show you how to do some of these different doodles. I'm not sure, is there a playlist where we have those specific videos under a playlist? If we don't, we need to get those into a playlist. Anyway, they're here on YouTube.
I'm not sure.
Because we've done a couple videos, I believe, where I demoed how to do these different prompts. So I even tell you what to do in here. And this series is going to go even more in depth into how I use sketchbooks, because I love them. I use them all the time. And I've got this kind of sketchbook too, is probably my second all-time favorite sketchbook. This is by Canson. This is the one that you can find at Walmart and almost every place you go. It's their mixed media sketchbook, which is my favorite of their sketchbooks because it's a good in-between texture of the paper, and it's a good weight of paper. I don't know if I've ever had an ink bleed through. I mean, you can on purpose make an ink bleed through on this paper, but I've never really had it bleed through just doing normal sketching type art. But this is the book that I take with me everywhere. This goes in my purse. This is the one I'm working in right now. And I use it for just doodling and doing different kinds of art and practicing in, but mainly what it gets used for is for taking notes in meetings, like in my church meetings. That's its main purpose. And so it's right now it's really filled with a lot of notes from church. So that's one of the things. We'll probably do a video here on YouTube really dedicated to how I take notes in a sketchbook, because my notes turn out really pretty. I'm quite proud of my notes. They're really pretty. And I like going back. Here's one of them right here. Look how pretty they turn out. Look at that. I think that my notes are like works of art. And because they're so pretty, I actually like to go back and thumb through and actually look at notes from church. I don't think I've ever done that in my entire life, gone back and looked at notes from church meetings. So I actually feel like I get more out of my church meetings, and I take notes at different kinds of meetings that I go to as well, like this. Sometimes I'll lay out all my color pencils, like I have a roll up with the 24 color pencils that I use in church meetings, because I can do that pretty discreetly without disturbing people around me. In other kinds of meetings, sometimes it's not appropriate to roll out 24 pencils and start taking notes like that, so I'll just use gel pens or something like that. But almost all my notes in my world, all my notes are always very colorful, aren't they, Steve? Yeah. But I almost always do it in sketchbooks like this. So I have lots of fun ideas to share with you on that we'll do here on YouTube. Like I mentioned when we were over on Facebook, I also want to do a video dedicated to how I make lettering fun. Like you can see here, I've gotten really into taking regular letters and turning them into looking really fancy. So you can, that's one of my favorite ways to fill up pages in a sketchbook is with a word. Just picking a word and turning an entire page into a piece of art because you used just a word. And that's a really fun thing to do. And it's not hard because everybody can write a word. And with a few extra steps on that word, all of a sudden that word looks like a piece of art. So you don't have to be afraid of a sketchbook or a blank page in a sketchbook. With this series, we're going to be doing things that will show you how you don't even have to be an artist. You don't have to know how to draw. I can show you some pretty simple things that even basic people who know how to, write your name. If you can write your name, you can draw these simple things, and it makes you feel like you can make beautiful sketchbook pages. So it should be lots of fun, and I'm excited about this series to share with you guys my passion for these blank books that can be pretty intimidating. So They're not going to be intimidating anymore. So
that's right.
We're going to have fun.
So last week, Jill was saying that she wanted a puppy. Well, she ended up getting one.
This
week.
Did.
She got a little American Bulldog Boxer mix. He's fawn white and has blue eyes.
Oh, what did you name your puppy? I want to know the name.
And Janelle was saying that you're going to need a roller bag for your travel supplies to save my poor back.
I have a roller bag. Honestly, I'm a little embarrassed to roll that one around. I think I'd be embarrassed to roll that into church. But yeah, Carter, he's my teenage son. He kind of complains when I ask him to carry my bag, especially when you have the water bottle and the really cold heavy pack. And
Kim says she ended up getting a quilting supplies bag on wheels for traveling.
Smart. Yeah, I have a roller bag that when we leave town for a night or two, I load that one up. Plus another one. I don't just leave town with one art bag. I leave town with several art bags.
And Adriana would like to see a little more on your prompts and how you draw them.
Okay.
I did put a couple links in there, but
good.
Yeah. Our channel. I just went to our videos and searched Doodle, and a couple of those came up. So.
Good. So Steve's got some links there for you already. I know was there multiple videos where we did that, or just one?
I found a couple of them, but it was just really quick. I was looking.
Yeah.
There, so.
Okay. So I know there was at least one really good one where we went through and did several of them where I demonstrated how to do them. So go watch that. If it doesn't give you enough content and you'd like me to do additional videos on those prompts, I would love to. I love drawing those prompts. In fact, I think the other day, again, the sketchbook is a perfect place for me to go when I don't feel good enough to do like a full-on art project, like a drawing for you guys or a coloring or anything. I go to my sketchbook because I can just do something repetitive and relaxing. I gotta show you guys what I did the other day with some gel pens. Where is it? Hello, I know it was in here.
Deb says that her smallest per sketchbook is 2 inches by 3 inches.
Oh, that's a nice size. Yeah, this is my new smallest sketchbook. It's 4 by 6, so I'm excited to try a smaller sketchbook. We'll see.
By the way, the puppy's name is Moose.
That is a darling name. I love that. This is one of the Doodle Prompts that is in the front of the sketchbook. And actually, those Doodle Prompts, aren't they a free download on my website?
Yeah.
If you want those Doodle Prompts, and you don't even have to buy the Sketch Bliss book, although I would love it if you bought the Sketch Bliss book, but it is a free download on my website. You just have to become a free member. So come on over to my website and you can get that as a free download. So yeah, it's there. But this is one of the Doodle Prompts, and rather than just doing it with just regular pencil or just a regular pen, of course, I had to do it with metallic gel pen. Oh, look at it catch the light. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I had so much fun doing that. That turned out really fun, I think. So yeah, you can fill an entire page with just one of those Doodle Prompts, and those Doodle Prompts, I think there are 40 Doodle Prompts. So that would fill 40 pages if you did just one Doodle Prompt per page in a sketchbook. So pretty cool. Those Doodle Prompts are really fun. So anyway, one of the themes I wanted to talk to you guys about is how you can use your sketchbooks to help you with your coloring. You don't have to be an artist to work in a sketchbook. Sketchbooks can help you with a lot of different things, and a sketchbook is a perfect place to practice and use it as a companion book to help you with your coloring. And sometimes when you don't want to color, you can swatch, and that's one thing we were really talking a lot about over on Facebook, was how much a lot of us love to swatch. So let me show you. I wanted to show you, I was thumbing through here while we were trying to get up onto YouTube, and I found this page here. Recently I found, let's see if I've got a date on here. Ooh, this is one page I didn't date. But we've been using the Pentel Milky Pot pens a lot lately here on this channel, and in my studio the Pentel Milky pens have been out a lot, and so I use my swatch book my sketchbook a lot as a swatching place, and this is one example here of how you can swatch. You don't have to do really formal little squares if you don't want to. Like over here I was swatching on, I've taped in some little black squares so you can actually tape things into your sketchbook, and I did some different swatches here in this sketchbook. So sketchbooks are a perfect place to swatch, and I do different kinds of swatching. You don't have to do just, like I said, just squares. Let me show you at the very front of the book. I had another place. I had when I got my Bliss Studio grays, that was back in January, I bought the gray set. Remember how I had the full set of Bliss Studio color pencils, but then I got the additional grays, and I wanted to see how the grays were different from each other. And so instead of doing separate squares and just boring swatch squares, I did my favorite spheres, and every sphere was a different gray from that gray set. So it was a really fun experiment, and because this sketchbook here had the different papers, I got to actually swatch on color pencil paper and see how the pencils would do with every single gray on the color pencil paper. So it was really a fun experiment, and I got to see the beautiful grays and how they look. And then up here I was practicing with the different pencils as well, and it just turned out, I think, to be a really beautiful page, all dedicated to the Bliss Studio color pencils. So the swatching in a sketchbook can be a work of art and just a really beautiful page in the end, and kind of cool to go back and remember, oh, that's right, I have these beautiful grays, I should pull them out.
That's a neat way to see them too, so you can kind of see the warm and the cool colors.
Yeah. Oh, is this one not working? Oh, which one isn't working? We only have 2 cameras working.
Oh, the one that was...
Oh, yeah. See how pretty those grays are? I love gray. So gorgeous. And it was fun to, turn it into a piece of art, to add the little swirls on it and all that stuff too. So it's so much fun.
Maureen says she needs to enter all the names and numbers first so she can swatch them all without stopping to label.
Yeah, and I've got those swatch pages. If you don't want to swatch in a sketchbook, you can download. I have actual pages where you can download a Swatch Chart, and I've got where you can put the names and the numbers right there for you, or you can be a little more loose and free like I've done in here. Oh, see, here's a place where I was a little more loose and free and listed the numbers. These were the Derwent Inktense pencils here, so that's another way that you can swatch. But yeah, sometimes it can slow you down, where here I used black for all the names, and so you do have to stop and put the name, and then you're back to putting the color, and it can slow the process down. You're right, so that's true. I'm trying to flip through here and see what else I can show you. These are all just different things that I've been playing around with. Oh, I did want to show you, I forgot to tell these guys about the free coloring page this week. We have, every week we're doing a free coloring page that you can come...
Sorry, I switched wrong.
Oh, I was looking, well, you can put it back up. I will talk to the camera.
Okay.
Hello, camera. If you want to come and get this week's free coloring page, Steve has decided to make this week be a bird-themed week. So he picked out this page for us for all of the free members. There's 2 kinds of memberships on my website. There's free members, and you are limited to the number of coloring pages that are available as a free member. I think you're only limited to like 50, which is a lot. Plus we have there are some worksheets that are for free members, and then there are also like free swatch pages. So there's actually quite a lot of content there for my free members, because I love my free members. So come and get this one. It's free for just this week. Then it'll go back to being available only for my premium members. Now, if you want to become a premium member, you get access to the entire Coloring Bliss library, which is over 450 coloring pages, plus you get all the worksheets and all the content is available to you as a premium member, and it's just $5 to be a premium member. So it's an awesome value. You get to cancel anytime you want. And you also get discounts at the print shop. So if you do want to order one of the Bliss sketchbooks, you get a discount on that for being a premium member. So it's a really good value. I really encourage you to become a premium member. The premium members are the people who make all of this possible, make it possible for me to keep the YouTube channel running. They make it possible for Steve to be my partner. I really appreciate my premium members. And like I said, you can cancel anytime you want. So it's a great way to support us. So I really appreciate that. Now, we also made available some new premium coloring pages. They were previously only available in the Bliss print shop. So now, as a premium member, you can download these anytime you want at home and color them. There's this cute little bird here. Like I said, the theme this week is birds.
Yes, birds.
So there's this one here. And then Steve also picked this one, which is a cuckoo clock with a cute little bird way up here. Bring it up so you can see the little bird and the cuckoo clock. And then finally, I want Steve to tell us about this one here.
Oh, the little, here, we'll put it here because it'll just go over.
Okay, we'll show them.
What do you want me to tell them?
Tell them about these birds.
Yes, I love this time of year. We have a lake in our neighborhood with paths around the lake.
Yeah.
And this time of year is so much fun because all of the birds, it's a very exciting bird time of year.
Yes,
all the little ducklings and goslings and these little fledglings. These are yellow-headed blackbirds that we have around the lake.
This part of their right here is yellow, right?
Right.
Right.
Right. And so it's just fun to walk around the lake. I like doing photography and taking pictures, and anyway, they're just a lot of fun.
Yeah. So this is Steve has a whole bunch of grayscale photos for you guys. And he does this really cool stylizing. It's hard to see on camera. So when you go and you download these, I think there's a couple free ones as well if you're a free member.
Yeah.
You can come download a couple of his grayscale coloring pages for you to try out. But he stylizes them so it's not just a gray photo. He does a really cool treatment to it. Feels all soft and paint-like. It's really cool.
Yeah, and that was kind of my intention behind it, was so when you were done coloring it, it would look more like a painting than a colored photograph.
Yeah, it's really neat. And then he also does, he goes a step farther and provides the full color photo too. So if you want to see what these little cute birds look like in real life, to get an idea of how to color them, if you want to try to be true to true life, you can, and see what color the grasses were and the sky and all that. You can see all of that with his full color image as well. So that's available. When you click and follow the links, you'll see the full color images for this one, right?
Yeah.
So go check that out and try grayscale. It's really fun. These ones are a nice one to start out at because there's not a ton of detail to have to puzzle out with a grayscale. So it's a good one to try, and such a happy one too. So good job, photographer husband.
Thank you.
So is there any questions I can answer?
Yeah, let me... Lots of great comments.
I forgot to also, while you're
questions.
catching up there, I forgot to mention about the Pelican color pencil giveaway.
Oh, yeah.
Today is the last day you can enter for the Pelican pencil giveaway that I mentioned in a video we did just a few, when was that? Monday? No, that was last week.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm losing track of time. Anyway, today's the last day for that giveaway. There is a link in the description of this video. So click on that, go on over and enter that contest giveaway. Ends tonight at midnight Mountain Daylight Time.
And I think I may have forgot to put that link in there now that I think about it.
Okay.
So if you go to coloringbliss.com/ and then just click on blog, it'll be like one of the top posts.
Yeah, on the blog, there's a post there about the Pelican pencils. Click on that and it has everything you need there, and you can enter to win, and there's lots of different ways to enter, and yeah, and we'll be picking the winner. Well, the software picks the winner, and then we will announce it tomorrow here on YouTube, and we will give away the Pelican pencils. And yeah, then we'll be doing another giveaway right away. So good luck to everyone for entering the giveaway.
So Adriana and Julie really like the idea of learning to do spheres.
Okay.
And
Maybe
we
could do that today too, yeah.
Artsy Ma says, I still struggle with shading. I'm learning though.
Yeah, shading just takes practice. And every tool is different. Color pencil, marker, gel pen, each of them have a little different trick. But as you get good at one, the skills from one tool will transfer and help you as you get better at the next. So you'll get good at it, I promise. So.
Yvonne and Deb both mentioned that their journals, planners, sketchbooks, they all kind of get used for everything, for sketching and doing that.
And they're so fun to use that way.
Let's see, Luminaria asked, would Copic paper work on Crayola markers and blend with each other?
Copic markers are alcohol-based markers, so they are a different creature from a Crayola marker. If I can reach the Crayolas. Let me bring this guy down here. Oh, I bumped it. Okay. Crayola markers are water-based markers typically. These are crazy art, but they're basically, if these are the kinds you've got, I also have the Crayola Super Tip markers. These are water-based as well. So water-based markers and alcohol-based markers do not play well together. They're not going to blend together. They don't play well together. So you want to blend together alcohol-based and alcohol-based markers. They'll be the best. So Copic paper basically is a very smooth, dense paper, and that's why it works really good for alcohol-based markers. Now, the smooth texture protects the tips of those Copic markers, and the denseness of the paper allows for lots of fibers for the ink to soak in really good and make it so you can blend really good. So that's why they have their own paper. We have our own marker paper too. What I did was I took Copic paper with me to our paper guy, and I said, this is what Copic provides, and I would like to provide something similar or even better if I can find it. And then we worked with our paper guy, and I tested out a whole bunch of papers, and now we have our marker paper, which I'm really proud of. I love it. And have we ever gotten any complaints about the marker paper?
No, they just love it.
Everybody loves the marker paper that I ended up picking.
Awesome.
It's really awesome. And the marker paper in the sketchbook is that paper that I picked. I love it. I love that paper. My two favorite papers that we have is the marker paper and the color pencil paper. Those are by far my favorite papers that we have. I love them. I like the mixed media paper too, but my favorites are the marker paper and the color pencil paper. So I just have to have favorites. Sorry. So we've talked about swatching is a good thing to do inside your sketchbook to help you with your coloring. Another thing we talked a little bit about this over on Facebook as well, is, oh my word, I just lost my train of thought. I must be getting tired. We talked about practicing our blending and trying color combinations and things that you might be a little bit like, I don't know if I could try that in a real coloring page, or I wouldn't be brave to try that because I might feel like I would ruin my coloring page if I tried those color combinations. A sketchbook is the place to try those really strange combinations. You kind of look at what I did here with the Bliss pencils, putting together that really odd purple and that really odd green blue together, and look how gorgeous that combination turned out. I'll flip the camera so you can see it with the better camera. So you can see in a sketchbook is the place to try really odd things like that. Let's see, it's pea green and Delft blue. And I wanted to try something really odd together, and it turned out really pretty. So in here is where you try things like that. So when you go to your coloring page, you can be like, I feel really bold now. I know that I can do these two and have a really pretty thing turn out. So sketchbooks are a great place to try things and You never have to show it if you don't want to anyone. That's the rule with sketchbooks. We were talking about that. You don't have to show anything if you don't want to. So let's see. I guess I could flip through here. Is there any other questions?
Nope. I think we can get into what you wanted to talk about.
Okay, I'm just going to flip through here a little bit here, and here I was practicing Jennifer's rule of thirds, and we were trying it with this was during a live event, I believe. So I was practicing that in here. We could practice some sphere coloring in here. Here's the Castle Art Supplies. I remember that video. That was from YouTube, a video we did here. Okay, and I think seems like there was one other thing I wanted to show you guys here. Oh, let's see if I can find it. Oh, here I was swatching some inks that I had gotten. Oh yeah, I think that was what I wanted to show you guys, and I already did. Okay. All right, so if there's not any specific questions, what I thought we could do for the last part of this hour is actually do some coloring in this sketchbook and play around. It sounds like you guys would like to maybe see some spheres, or we could do some lettering. We could do both. We don't have a whole lot of time. What would they like to see, Steve? I'm still on the color pencil paper here. Another thing that can be really fun to do in a sketchbook is to take different coloring pages and cut elements out and tape or glue them into your sketchbook and color them in your sketchbook.
Julie asked, are those little dots in your spheres?
Are those little what?
She asked, are those little dots in your spheres?
The little dots in my spheres. These spheres here?
Yeah. I wonder if she was wondering if you were doing the pointillism or something. Or...
Oh, I think I just didn't. This paper here is very textured. My color pencil paper has a texture to it so that you can get good layers in it. And on this one here, I just didn't blend until all that texture was gone. So some of the white of the paper is showing through, so that's why you're seeing the little bits of dots and stuff of the white. So
yeah, it sounds like spheres is the winner.
Okay.
And Grace says, I had to learn how to layer so I could do skin better. Yeah. I looked at a lot of people and learned by practicing and watching.
Oh, don't you just love that we can watch on YouTube like that? I love that. I love that we have that ability now. I'm trying to pick I've got a
little closer for you.
I've got these nice polychromos handy. Maybe we'll color with those since they're handy. I've got a small 12 set. Oh, Rose has started to snore. We've entered the snore phase, people.
Every week we get the little snore right
The snore phase. Let's see. Is this the full 12 set? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then I think the white and the black. I think this is when you buy a 12 set of polychromos. This is what you get. Is this 12 right here. I think it's such a pretty set. So we'll do a sphere using these polychromos right here. And I always go for yellows and reds, Steve. So I want you to pick 2 colors for me. Should we make you pick random?
Sure.
We're not going to do black and white.
Yeah, because you said on Facebook we were talking about how kids just go for it. Yeah. They don't worry about color theory. They don't worry about
right. So we're going to go up here, and you're going to close your eyes.
Okay.
I'm going to mix them up.
All right.
And we're just going to make you pick 2 random colors.
Okay.
Okay. Close your eyes, young man.
Oh, sorry. I just saw Roberta gave us $10.
Roberta? You're so kind.
Roberta de Puerto Rico.
Oh, whoa.
She's going to laugh at my bad gringo Spanish accent.
I think it sounds really good. What are you talking about? It's the best Spanish accent I've heard all day.
Roberto.
Thank you. Oh, gracias. Yes. Now that's a bad accent. Gracias. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
Okay. I won't look.
Okay. His eyes are closed.
All right. Where are they at?
Right here.
This one.
Okay.
And this one.
Oh.
Oh.
Those are not colors I would have picked. I love that. We've got, are you guys ready? We have, if anyone wants to color along with my crazy colors, we have light green 171 and walnut brown 177. Oh, remember everyone, we have committed Steve to coloring on Father's Day, the Wednesday before Father's Day. So remember to come the Wednesday before Father's Day to see Steve color. It's going to be fantastic.
Okay. Janelle wanted me to ask you about the pencil sharpener to your left, and if there's a reason why spheres and circles are your favorite.
I wondered if someone would notice that little...
Carl,
my new friend. This is Carl. Oh, I better put it up. Say hi to Carl. Carl, say hi. Hello. I'm getting punchy. This is Carl, and he's going to be formally introduced to all of you very soon. He's had his filming done. I hope it turned out okay. I was really tired the day I filmed Carl. In fact, his eyes are a little crooked, but this is Carl, and he's going to be new in my studio. He's on my new pencil sharpener. So I did the introductory video and how he works and everything, and now I'm going to be using him in the studio for a while to see how he works, if I like him or not. So, yeah. Say hi to Carl.
Okay. And Patty had asked...
There was a second part to the question.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, why is circles my favorite?
Oh, yes. Why are circles?
Because they're so hard to draw. And when you get a good circle, it's like... So I love practicing circles. It's like a challenge to me. So that's why.
Okay. And Patty had asked if you've ever used Hero watercolored pencils.
No, I haven't. Not yet. In fact, I want to order and bring in some water-soluble pencils. I have a few. I only have the Derwent Inktense, and I have Crayola, and I have Prismacolor water-soluble. Polychromos. There we go. So I would like to bring in more to do some testing and comparing, because those are my only experiences so far. So we're going to use color number 177 and color number 171.
I've had a couple people mention they'll use like a lid from a jar, or get a template for circles.
Yeah, that's great. I, however, make myself draw it freehand because I love to make myself be... I push myself to draw it freehand. Okay, that's not too shabby. Okay, so we're going to do a sphere. And we're going to try this first sphere. I want to try to make it go brown on the outside and go into green on the inside. That's what we're going to challenge here. We're going to do a couple different variations for fun. So I'm going to just start by building up the outside. And again, this is that good color pencil paper in this sketchbook. So I'm already giving myself an advantage by not being on a really slippery paper. And because we're just here to practice, we're in a sketchbook, so we're here to practice. We get to relax and not be too perfect, right? And I guess you could zoom in more if you wanted to. Okay. The other thing is about being in a sketchbook is I kind of challenge myself to think, okay, what would I like to practice? Is there something that in my coloring I've been feeling like is difficult, that I'm not really great at, that I don't enjoy? And that's what I'll say, okay, let's try that. Or there's days where I'm just like, you know what? I just want to relax and have fun. And that's what I'll do. So we're going to see how this goes together here. Right off, I'm seeing we've got a challenge here. The challenge is that the brown is a very bold color and lots of pigment. And the green is going down a lot lighter. So the blending line right here is not really great. So we've got some work to do, people.
While you're doing that, JC asks, what's the difference between Copic Ciao markers and Copic sketch markers?
Oh, such a good question. Do you know, when I was trying to figure that out, how much research I had to do to learn that? Do you know how hard it was for me to get that question answered? So let me answer that question for you. What I'm doing right here is super, super light layers. I've got my hand moved way back on the pencil, see? Way back, so it's forcing me to do light layers, and I've actually got the pencil at a huge angle, so it's laying really light layers from the side of that lead right now to soften out that edge, to get rid of that harsh line that I laid down. That's how we're getting rid of that edge. Okay, the difference between a Copic sketch and a Copic Ciao. They all have the same inks. This is the Copic Ciao right here. It's a round body, and it has a chisel tip and it has a brush tip. Exactly the same brush tip and chisel tip as the sketch marker right here. So you can get exactly the same tips. The sketch marker has an elliptical body. So some people prefer the way that fills in their hand. I don't care. The sketch marker caps don't stack. So you can't go like this, but you can on the Ciao. That's another difference, like that. It is supposed to hold less ink in a Ciao than a sketch. We're going to do a test to find out if that's true. There are fewer colors available in the Ciao line than there is in the sketch line. And the Ciao is refillable just like the sketch is refillable. And the Ciao is hugely less expensive than the sketch. So if you want to get into Copics, you can start out with Ciaos. And they're interchangeable, they work, they blend, they work just the same because it's the same inks, same tips, everything. So it's a good place to start, and they'll work great together. The inks are the same. Some of them they're the same, like the same color is the same from the Copics to the Ciaos to the sketches. So it's great.
Someone was saying the Ciaos have less ink in them.
Yep. But we're going to test that because I've heard that might not be true. Intrigue. Okay, so we're going to build up now the edges of the sphere.
Tanya was asking, is coloring linear better than circular to eliminate the lines?
That depends on what you're doing. You know, if I'm coloring a circle, sometimes circle strokes will look nicer. If I'm coloring like hair and I want all the strokes to look more like hair-like strokes, like fur, you know, you want all those strokes to look all going the same direction, then straight strokes are the ones I prefer.
Speaking of sketchbooks, Maureen says, my rule is nothing gets pulled out of my sketchbook. Keeping pages that are imperfect has been a much greater challenge than I expected.
Ah, yeah. That's a good rule.
A couple other people said they like that rule too.
Yeah. Sometimes I have to pull out a page, like if I'm with a nephew or a niece, so that they have some paper to work with. And I always feel like, oh, I've ruined my sketchbook by pulling out a page.
Wow, that's a tough sphere, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to really darken up the center so that we have some contrast, maybe that's the word. Because we gotta get that color to work with the brown. And now, what I haven't done yet, which is going to help, here we go, people. We're bringing the green out into the brown. The neutral zone, right? Like in Star Wars and Star Trek, the neutral zone. In here, in the in-between land where the two are coming together. We're going to bring them together better now. And it's really going to help. Here we go. This is the magic part.
What kind of pressure are you using in that area?
Right now, I'm using more of a medium pressure. All along it's been light, but now that I've got all that blended out, all those harsh lines that I put in at the beginning as I was trying to make them come together, they're all blended out now. Now it's coming together. Look how pretty now. Okay, now I want to do the same thing. I want to bring in that brown on the edges so it has more pigment out here and softer pressure into the neutral zone in the middle where they're coming together. These colors kind of remind me of the Romulan Empire. Yep, I'm a Star Trek nerd. Star Trek nerds unite!
Yeah, it is kind of the color scheme of Nemesis, huh? Star Trek Nemesis.
Yep. Do we have any other Star Trek fans? Okay, look, it's coming together. Darken up the edges a little bit more. And if I wanted to keep working and get rid of all the white of the paper, the tooth, I could. But you don't have to. I think that looks kind of cool. What do you think, Steve? Do you like your colors you picked?
Yeah, I really like them.
Were you worried for a minute there that I couldn't pull it together?
Yes.
It was because I hadn't worked in the neutral zone yet. Okay, look how cool. One sphere. Okay, now I want you to close your eyes. Here we go. We're going to pick just one color now. Pick a color, Steve.
Any?
And
close
your eyes.
Sorry.
He looks at me with his eyes wide open. You want me to close my eyes?
Yeah, bring them over
right
to me.
here.
That one.
Okay. Ooh, good color. This is magenta. Number 1. I can't read it. My eyes are starting to go. What's the number?
Let's see. 9201-155.
Come on, Polychromos. You can make your numbers more legible for the amount of money we've spent on them. 155, you said? Okay. Yeah. So will you switch the camera view?
Ashley says, or Ollie says, I picked an avocado.
Oh, it is like an avocado. You're right. That's awesome. Okay, so just a straight up, if you were going to do just a straight up sphere, what I usually do, like let's say the light source is coming in from this direction. So the lightest part of the sphere would be like maybe the light would hit it right here. So let's imagine that. Imagination. So I'm going to go ahead and draw an arrow here and say light source. So you guys know what I'm headed for here. Okay, there's our light source coming in this way. So the darkest side I'm going to do over here. Now this isn't going to be like the most realistic sphere ever. Okay, really light pressure here. Of course, we're working with our awesome polychromos, so we've got lots of pigment goes down even with the lightest pressure. Let's move it up a bit for you, sorry. So I've got my hand way back on the pencil to try to keep me from overdoing the pressure here. My strokes are a little messy here, but that's okay because we've got a lot of tooth and texture on this paper, so we can clean up those strokes here in a minute.
Oh, Patty's a Trekkie.
Yay, Patty!
Grace says, live long and prosper with coloring.
Yeah! I like that. Okay.
Ooh, and Grace asked, have you worked with your luminance yet?
When I first got them, I colored with them a little bit, did my swatches, did just a little bit of coloring because, you know, you can't not do a little coloring if you have a set of Luminance pencils. But I haven't had them out in a while. Okay, with a sphere, there's always a bit of a dark shadow right here to give it that feeling that the sphere curves around like that. So we want to establish that bit of a shadow right there. And then make that shadow go out to light really fast. So really light pressure right there. Okay. And then we're going to come back here and keep working on this line because this is an awfully big white spot we've left. We want to shrink that down a little bit here. Light pressure because we're going to build it up and make the back side even darker here in a minute. We're just sort of getting started here. Okay, so that's pretty good. We got a nice big highlight. Now we're going to come back here and darken up the back side. Get the shadow heavier. So this is one of my favorite things to do if I don't know what else to do in my sketchbook, but I feel like laying down colors and I don't want to swatch. I'll do spheres.
They're saying you must be a next generation fan, and I was going to say it's really all of them.
I watch all of them.
Including the original, huh?
Yeah.
You're a big Trekkie trekker.
I am. I got Steve into it when we first got married. I was like, you can't marry me without watching Star Trek.
It's true. Janelle wanted me to ask you what happens if you feel like you've messed up on a sketchbook and how you suggest they resist the urge to tear a page out and start over.
Well, let me show you a page I hate. Like I said, I have a sketchbook that I don't show you guys. And that's where I go when I'm practicing certain things. But there are pages in here I strongly dislike. Where is that page? Where are you, page I hate? Right here. I hate this page. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I liked it to a point, and then I started adding these little swirls up here because I was trying to make the bees or whatever these bugs are look like they were moving, and I feel like it ruined it. I really like how some of this turned out, but I hate this up here. So I just stopped. Like, I could have kept going and maybe tried to save it, but I just stopped. And every time I see it, I think, oh yeah, that's right, I hate this page. And then I just turn it. So yeah, you just leave it. And, you know, if you want to make yourself a rule that says you have to leave it, you can. But you don't have to. If you want to make a rule that says I'm allowed to cut out and throw away everything I hate, then make that rule and cut out everything you hate. You're allowed. But really, it's really up to you how you want to use your own sketchbook. There are a lot of amazing, really fun YouTube videos out there of how people fill their sketchbooks. And I've seen people that will have a page that they absolutely hate, and so they'll tape in a page on top of it and start again. Or they'll paint over it and do something different with it. So there's lots of options. It's your rules. You get to do anything you want. I usually leave it in books like this because it's just part of the journey for me. And it's not, you know, I don't have to show it if I don't want to. Yeah. So.
Let's see. Troy Art says, I'm watching right now while working on a commission. I'm an amateur artist.
Oh,
and I just
cool.
want to say that you've really helped me throughout my art journey. Your blending tips are exquisite.
Oh, awesome. I'm glad I could help. That's cool that you've got a commission. Congratulations. Okay, look how cool this is turning out. I love just a single color blend. It's really good practice. Control over your pencil. Can you get that light texture? Can you get that deep texture all with one pencil? How much control can you get over your one pencil? It's such a good practice. Look, so cool. And then you can add a shadow if you want to try that. Although every time I add a shadow, I don't know. Some of my shadows are better than others. Let's see. Let's see what I can do here.
Rebecca wondered if you're going to sketch Mexican pottery.
Oh, I would love to. I've got a couple drawings, that I've done so far for you guys, and my Pinterest board is still filling with Mexican pottery. I love it. Okay.
Still some discussion about the, when you make mistakes and giving yourself permission to mess up and leave it.
Yeah. Like I said, that page in there is far from perfect, and it's just part of the learning process. It's fun to go back and see. I love going back and seeing where I was at 5 years ago.
Yeah, that's really neat.
Yeah.
To see the progress. I think that's why it's a good idea to just leave those in there.
And that's kind of what sketchbooks are for me. That's what sketchbooks are a journey. That's why I date everything, because then I can go back and go, wow, my spheres 5 years ago were just pencil, and we're really shabby, and I've come a long way, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat to see the progress, and that now I'm using colors and 2-tone colors and 3-tone, and I can get such good dimension now, and it's really neat. So you can allow yourself the journey and see how it progresses, and just put the sketchbook away. If you're like, man, most of those pages are just something I never want to see again, then just put it away and don't look at it again. So, most of the time for me, the majority of the pages in the book are pages I'm proud of, and I like to show off. I'll show Steve, I'll show the people that I trust, that I like getting feedback from. So, and people are so good about it, because most people are like proud of you for even trying, because most people won't even try. They are too scared to even pick up a pencil and even make one mark in a sketchbook. You ask anybody, and they're too scared to even try. We talked about this over on Facebook, and that fear. If you put a blank piece of paper in front of most adults with some art supplies, most adults are just frozen with fear of even knowing what to do in that situation. So the fact that you even did something, most people are just impressed. Even if it turned out it's in a way that you didn't like, they're just impressed that you even tried. So think of it that way, that they wouldn't have even bought the sketchbook to begin with. So be proud of yourself that you even have a page you're not proud of. Think of it that way. And I'm sincere about that. I think that's very, very true. So I think you should get out your sketchbooks. Don't be afraid of them. Use them. Make sure you have one handy, because I think the more you see what I'm going to be doing with the sketchbooks here on YouTube with you guys, the more you're going to want to be doing something with them. So even if you go and just buy a cheap one and have it handy, you're going to be glad you have it, because as we play with them, you're going to have fun and you're going to like it. So you're going to turn into me, and one of these days you're going to bump into me somewhere and you'll say, look what I have in my purse. And you're going to have a sketchbook with you everywhere you go, just like I do. Just you wait. I'm going to addict all of you to sketchbooks. Just you wait.
Katara says, presented with a blank piece of paper, I will origami it.
Yeah,
Origami's
that's cool. I can do a bird that the wings flap. That's like my go-to. And that's the other thing I do in church is origami birds. I can impress children amazingly with my origami birds. If there's like kids that are like screaming behind me in another pew, I will origami a bird and hand it back, and they'll be like, what just happened? And I'll be like, look. I'm good at that one. That's one of my, and I can do the little cootie catcher thing, but the origami bird, that's impressive.
Yes. Tweety has a question. What's the best type of surface to color on? Paper under picture, clipboard, table, padding, etc.?
As long as the thing underneath it is smooth and has enough firmness that it, like you don't want it soft like a pillow or something. I usually have it pretty firm. Our books always have not always, but you can buy our books with the chipboard, so it's pretty firm. I like a clipboard or something underneath my books. So our books, when I've been coloring lately, it's just been straight on our books, usually on my lap, because our books are pretty sturdy now because the paper is so thick, and then it has the chipboard on the back. That's been sufficient for me lately. If it's just a loose piece of paper, I'm usually on a clipboard. So that's what I've been doing lately. And then here at my desk, I've got this cutting mat that is just a regular old self-healing cutting mat, and that works really good too. So that's usually what I'm doing. So is there any other questions I can answer for you guys right now before we sign off?
Grace's Coloring Corner had an interesting question. She said, would you attend a coloring book convention if there was one and be one of the panelists?
Yes, I would. And I would even, Steve and I have talked about like putting on a convention before or hosting some sort of event. Steve and I have dreamt, like if we had the money, what I would love to do is on some beautiful mountainside have a beautiful cabin with rooms and catering and maybe a massage therapist and a spa, and then we'd have rooms where we'd all get together and color for the morning, and then we'd break out for a beautiful, delicious lunch, and then maybe we'd go outside on the hillside under the beautiful quaking aspen trees with the birds singing, and we'd color together and learn another coloring technique, and then we could go inside and have a lovely dinner and talk about our color. Does that not sound like heaven? That would be my heaven, is if I could do like some sort of Bliss coloring retreat where you guys could all come and spend the weekend and color and just visit, and oh man. And I'd have my art studio with hundreds of art supplies, and you guys could come in and try them all and know like, okay, now I know what I want to buy because I got to try Jennifer's Copics, and I know I have to have Copics, or I've tried the polychromos and they weren't for me. I don't have to spend my money on those, or whatever it is, Wouldn't that be amazing? Yes. But yeah, if someone put on a convention, I would so go anywhere. Yeah, I would do that. That would be amazing. Yep. Who's going to do it? Put the convention up. I'm there. and we could have Star Trek panelists come too. A Star Trek coloring convention? Could we swing that? What do you think, Steve?
That's right.
So that would be really cool. So.
All right.
Any other questions?
Yep, they like that motion for that type of thing, for a retreat. A retreat.
And we'd have the massage therapist come and massage our hands so we can color even longer. Yeah, don't you think?
Yep.
Yeah. And a chocolate bar with like all the different kinds of chocolates. This is getting better and better. And we can all bring our animals with us because it would be pet friendly. And we all have our coloring animals sitting next to us, our cat or our dog or whatever it is.
Ferret.
Ferret.
Lizard is better.
The lizard.
Yes, sure.
Our coloring lizard. Oh, it just sounds like heaven. Oh, man. We got to get rich. And I'll build this epic coloring place, and we'll all get together and color together. It'd be perfect.
Yeah.
So until then, until we have the perfect coloring Bliss place, this is where we'll get together every week here on Wednesdays. How's that for a segue? That was a pretty epic segue. You guys got to admit that was pretty good. Anyway, So don't forget to enter for the giveaway for those color pencils. Don't forget, I'll be back here next Wednesday again. And make sure you have subscribed and you hit your notifications, because hopefully I'll be putting out some more of these sketchbook videos. They'll be hopefully kind of short, so they'll be just kind of an idea of something you can do in your sketchbook and get you going into your sketchbook with some great ideas. And so watch for those to come, including more reviews. We're going to have more reviews coming out. Yeah, I've got lots planned for you guys. So thanks so much for coming, and I hope you have a wonderful, colorful, blissful evening. So we'll see you next Wednesday. Bye, everybody.